Hello, lovely landlords. Deposits. It's not about the money, it's all about the compliance. Let me ask you a really simple question. If you needed to get your rental property back for one of your family, could you? Not in theory, not I think so, but confidently, legally, without delay. Because if your compliance isn't in order, including your deposit, the answer might be no. So let me speak as someone who self-manages their property. You might be thinking, I've always taken a deposit, I've protected it, I've never had a problem. And that's exactly what most owners say, because deposits feel simple. You take the money, you protect it, job done, tick, except that's not the full story. The big misconception, and here's the key point, nothing has changed with deposit legislation. The rules around protecting the deposit, serving the prescribed information, following the correct process have been in place for years. And yet deposits are still one of the biggest areas where landlords get caught out. Not because they didn't try, but because they didn't realise how precise the rules are. So what does the compliance actually mean? Most owners think compliance means deposit protected, certificates received, but legally it means protected within the correct time frame, prescribed information served correctly and in full, and most importantly, that you can prove it. Because if you can't prove it, it didn't happen. So let's bring this into the real world. Let me share a recent case with you. A landlord been living abroad and was returning to the UK. They wanted their property back to live in. No problem. The property had been let informally. A friend of a friend. They were living there and the neighbour had been keeping an eye on things. They came to us and said, can you just serve notice? Now, on the surface, that sounds very straightforward. But when we looked at the paperwork, oh my God, there were gaps. No evidence the gas safety certificate had been properly served. It's simply been left in the property. No record of remedial works following an EICR. No clear compliance trail. So before we could even think about serving notice, we had to fix everything. We carried out a new gas safety certificate. We properly served it and evidenced it. We organised the electrical remedial works. We brought everything back into compliance and then, only then, could we serve notice. So what happened next? Well, the resident didn't want to leave, so the case went to court. Possession was eventually granted, but here's the key point. It took 5 months longer than the owner had expected. 5 months. Not because they were a bad landlord, but because compliance hadn't been structured properly from the start. So why does this matter now? Well, let's bring this back to you. If you needed possession because you wanted to sell the property, you needed the property for your family, or your circumstances have changed, would your paperwork stand up? Because deposit compliance is just one part of that bigger compliance picture. If one piece is missing, notice can be delayed, cases can be challenged, timelines can be stretched, and time is money. Deposits are just the tip of the iceberg, and that's a real message today. Deposits aren't the problem, they are the symptom. The real issue is compliance, documentation and evidence, because the system is no longer based on good intentions, verbal agreements, or it's always been fine. It is based on what you can prove. The self-managing reality is that if you manage your own property, you are responsible for keeping up with legislation, serving documents correctly, recording everything, storing evidence, and understanding when things change. And that's a lot to carry, especially alongside work, family, and everything else. A simple check you can do today. Ask yourself, can I prove the deposit was protected on time? Can I prove the prescribed information was served? Can I prove all the compliance documents were issued correctly? And would this stand up in court? If the answer is, I think so, that's your risk. So why does it matter now? Not just May the 1st. This is not about waiting for the 1st of May. It's already happening. Courts are already asking for evidence. Councils are already enforcing fines. Tenants are already more aware of their rights. And delays are costing landlords months. So final thought, deposits haven't changed. The rules haven't changed. But expectations have. And the question is no longer, did you do it? It's, can you prove you did it correctly? If you can, you're in a really strong position. If you can't, now's the time to fix it. So why not subscribe to Maxine Lester TV, where we guide you through each part of renting so you can stay compliant and protect your investment. And why don't you sign up? Because next week we're going to look at tenancy agreements and why many landlords are relying on outdated wording without realising it. So one step at a time, clear, professional and in control. We look forward to talking with you.